West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'm one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Machel St. Patrick Hewitt, and we just wanted to do a little quick episode. 2025 people. I was being very serious that 2025 would see a brand new content plan for the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, and I was very, very serious when I said that we would up our game in terms of quantity, but slightly quality as well of what you see on the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. The intention is very much to treat this podcast in 2025 like it's almost a regular show that you see in your inbox week by week. I'm not going to promise 3 episodes a week or 4 episodes, but certainly at the bare minimum, the plan is to always do at least 2 episodes per week, and to make this a far more regular thing that people see. 2025, we upskill, we upmove, but we always stay number one. So as you can see with the title of this particular episode, it's called Did Selectors Cause This? And to be fair, as I'm recording this, I may go on to change the title, but the sentiment of why I've recorded this video is still the same. Over the last few Monday night mashup live call-in shows, etc., and even some of the recorded shows, there's been an undercurrent theme running through them as to almost a question of, well, how did we get here? And in truth, any question about West Indies cricket that starts with how did we get here, well, the answer is actually you have to go back to the early 90s. You speak to enough of the legends in the game, and they will always tell you that they could see the decline in the first-class system and cricket back home from the early 90s onwards. But that discussion is a bigger discussion. That discussion is for when I write my book on West Indies cricket, or for when I do a deep dive podcast with some of the legends and West Indian cricket historians. This particular episode, in terms of Did Selectors Cause This, is related to the here and now, and is related to the last almost 4 years of West Indies cricket. Disclaimer, the selectors have not caused West Indies to lose every single game pretty much, or the majority of the games they've played in the last 10 years or so, right? It's bigger than the selectors. What I am getting at is the current iteration of the West Indies side that we see in Pakistan, where some people are expressing serious doubts about quality and how long players should be given to develop and so on and so forth. As people are questioning all of those things, I just started to think, and I was like, well, how did we get here, though? How did we get to a point where players are averaging 17, low 20s, and people are arguing that, no, we got to stick with them. Some people are arguing, but how did it get to this, etc., etc.? To understand where we're at in the present day, and again, disclaimer, we're only talking about right here in the modern iteration of West Indies cricket. Some of you who watch Caribbean Cricket Podcasts are hard of hearing, not literally, but like you don't actually listen to the point being made. You hear the first 3 words or the first couple of sentences and then project your opinion onto me. I implore you listen very carefully to what I'm going to say in this particular episode. I went back to 2021. And the reason why I went back to 2021 is because there was a short period of time between 2021, when we played Bangladesh, and maybe 2022, when we played England at home, where West Indies weren't bad. They were actually okay. That included a series win versus Bangladesh, a series draw at home versus Sri Lanka. I can't remember when the Pakistan one was, but we had a series draw at home versus Pakistan. I think that was in 2023, to be fair. A series win at home versus England in 2022. So there was a short period of time of about 18 months where I'm not saying we were good, but there was a clear philosophy and identity, right? So I went back to Bangladesh and I said, what was the team again that played in Bangladesh? This was the team. And remember, that was the COVID series where loads of the so-called stars pulled out of the side. And we went to Bangladesh with what looked like a B team, because 12 of the senior players said they're not touring and so on and so forth. That was the tour where Kraigg became captain because Jason didn't want to tour, etc. The team for Bangladesh was Kraigg Braithwaite. I'm just looking at the batters, by the way. So this episode is nothing to do with the bowlers. We're just looking at the batters, because when I say how did we get to this, I'm looking in the context of the weak batting. So the batters for that Bangladesh tour were in order: Kraigg Braithwaite, John Campbell, Shane Mosley, Nkrumah Bonner, Kyle Mayers, Jermaine Blackwood, Josh Da Silva, right? That was your top 7 that went to Bangladesh. They won the series 2-0. Fast forward, I'm not including every series, by the way, people, before people get at me. I'm just picking out a few key series to make a wider point. Fast forward to England in the summer of 2022, and the only change that had been made in that batting lineup was Shane Mosley was out and Shamar Brooks was in. So the batting lineup for England at home when we won in Grenada was Kraigg Braithwaite, John Campbell, Shamar Brooks, Nkrumah Bonner, Kyle Mayers, Jermaine Blackwood, Jason Holder, who came in as a bowler but obviously can bat, and Josh Da Silva. That was our top 8 against England, and we won that series 1-0. So between Bangladesh at the start of the year in 2021, England in the summer of 2022, there was a Sri Lanka series in there as well. I'm just trying to think. I swear that Pakistan one was 2021. Bear with me, people, because I swear, because Seals would have taken his fifer. I swear it was 2021. Bear with me, people. I should have had a look at this, but yeah, I thought so. So here we go. So Pakistan were in the West Indies in 2021, and that series ended as let's find it again. Ended as a draw, right? So hear this, people. I thought I was right, between 2021 and the summer of 2022, West Indies beat Bangladesh away, drew with Sri Lanka at home, drew with Pakistan at home, beat England at home. Listen to that again, people. We beat Bangladesh away, drew with Sri Lanka and Pakistan at home, beat England at home. I'm not saying that makes us world beaters. I'm just saying it was only 3 years ago. It was only as recent as 3 to 3.5 to 4 years ago that West Indies were competing in Test match series, right? And not just, I know obviously he's going to say Australia, but we were competing and going into Test match series, not expecting to get whooped every time. If again, for the hard of hearing, in the space of 18 months, we beat Bangladesh away 2-0, drew with Sri Lanka at home 0-0, drew with Pakistan at home 1-1, beat England at home 1-0. And I've just told you what that batting order was. Kraigg Braithwaite, John Campbell, Shamar Brooks, by the England series, Nkrumah Bonner, Kyle Mayers, Jermaine Blackwood, Jason Holder, Josh Da Silva. Cool. At the back end of 2022 now, we go to Australia and we get dumped on. As expected, we get whooped, mullered, skirtled, everything. Following year, start of 2023, by now, Phil Simmons has gone. So Phil Simmons has lost his job. Monty Desai's gone, etc. We go to Zim. Andre Coley is the interim coach at this point. We go to Zim. For that Zim tour, so obviously, end of Phil Simmons' thing was that Australia tour. We got whooped down, right? But by the end of Phil's tenure as West Indies head coach, we actually, yes, Australia whooped us, but we looked okay. Generally speaking, we looked okay as a test outfit. We weren't world beaters, but you could see we were trying a thing. Okay, you could see a philosophy, and it only looked sour by the end because Australia absolutely dismantled us. Cool. Coley takes over now, and we go to Zim. By Zim now of 2023, John Campbell is out, drug ban. Tagenarine Chanderpaul is in. Shamar Brooks is gone. Roston Chase is in. Chase had obviously played in Australia as well, and done okay there. I think he averaged 29. Bonner was out. Raymond Reefer was in. And that was now the change in the batting order. So for this new kind of cycle where Phil Simmons was gone and Coley was in as interim head coach, some of those batters that had been part of that 18 months of competitive cricket were out the side. Fast forward now to, so forget South Africa and Coley's now head coach. We go to India now. We fast forward a couple of series to India, summer of 2023. Some more changes have happened now. Roston is out. Athanase is in. Reefer is out. Kirk McKenzie is in. Carl Mayers is gone, never to be seen again. And Jason Holder kind of takes his place now in the top 7. And that's India at home in 2023. So within the space of 2 and a bit years, we've gone from a top 7 of Kraigg Braithwaite, John Campbell, Shane Mosley, Nkrumah Bonner, Carl Mayers, Jermaine Blackwood, Josh Da Silva, to Kraigg Braithwaite, Tej Narayan Chanderpaul, Kirk McKenzie, Alec Athanase, Jermaine Blackwood, Jason Holder, Josh Da Silva. So we've undergone some significant changes. Obviously, lose to South Africa away, lose to India at home. The next encounter now is Australia. Obviously, we go to Australia, we pull off an unexpected victory in Australia. Kavem Hodge is now in the side because Blackwood had been dropped. Hodge was now in the side, and he was the new addition. So we have the unexpected Gabba Miracle West Indies win. People want to believe West Indies have turned a corner, but obviously since the Australia win in that test, we've been licked down by England, licked down by South Africa, 1-1 draw at home against Bangladesh, and currently getting licked down by Pakistan. By England of the summer of 2024, so we're now 3.5 years since that first squad I spoke to you about with Bangladesh, we've had even more changes. So now Tasia's gone, Machel Louis is in as the opener, Blackwood has gone, Kavem Hodge is in. So again, listen very carefully. So in the space of 3 and a bit years, we've gone from Kraigg Braithwaite, John Campbell, Shane Mosley, Nkrumah Bonner, Carl Mayers, Jermaine Blackwood, Josh Da Silva. Sorry, Jason Holder, Josh Da Silva, effectively, to Kraigg Braithwaite, Machel Louis, Kirk McKenzie, this is England, Alec Athanase, Kavem Hodge, Jason Holder, Josh Da Silva. So that's the changes I've undergone. We get duppied in England 3-0. Obviously, South Africa come, lose that as well. 1-0 in a 2-match test series, draw 1-1 with Bangladesh. And now here we are in Pakistan. And we've seen 2 more changes. Kirk McKenzie's now gone. Casey Carty is in. Jason Holder is, well, I don't really know, injured, playing T20, whatever. Justin Graves is in. And we've just seen the current iteration of the West Indies side struggle horrendously in Pakistan in that first test with a batting lineup of Kraigg Braithwaite, Machel Louis, Casey Carty, Kavem Hodge, Alec Athanase, Justin Graves. Oh, sorry, and Josh has gone as well. Tevin Imlak, which is now the top 7. Before I deep dive into this and go where I want to go with this, the 2 questions I want people to think about is this. That what I've described to you is a gap of 4 years from winning in Bangladesh away in 2021 to losing in Pakistan away in 2025. That's a gap of 4 years. The question I want people to ask themselves is, should we have undergone such a major change in 4 years? The side that won in Bangladesh is now unrecognizable. All 5 of the top 6 that won in Bangladesh have gone. In fact, no, all 6 of the top 7 that won in Bangladesh in 2021, that won in England, that beat England at home in 2022, 6 of the top 7 have gone. John Campbell's gone. Obviously, he had a drug ban. Shamar Brooks, Shane Mosley, gone. Nkrumah Bonner, gone. Carl Mayers, gone. Jermaine Blackwood, gone. Josh Da Silva dropped. Jason Holder in and out when he feels like it. The whole side from Bangladesh in 2021 has gone except Kraigg Braithwaite. The whole side from when we beat England in Grenada in 2022 has gone except Kraigg Braithwaite. In fact, here's this. How about this for a joke? The whole side we're just talking about batting, remember, people. The whole side that beat Zimbabwe in 2023, which was only 18 months ago or 2 years ago, has gone, except Kraigg Braithwaite. So when I started this episode and said, how have we got to this? Yeah, there's a myriad of reasons: pitches, systemic issues, crap coaching in the region, lack of development, no money, poor developmental and strategic planning, useless leaders of territorial boards. There's loads and loads of external factors. But let us not forget that one of the factors in why we're currently in this position right now, where man are averaging 17 and we're like, what's going on, is the selectors. And that doesn't just mean Desmond Haynes, it's anybody who has held a selector's position in the West Indies in terms of picking the West Indies team. How can your entire team from batting lineup from 4 years ago be gone? How can your entire batting lineup from only 2 years ago in Zim be gone? Where is the consistency? Where is the foresight to say this is the philosophy? Where is you can't lose 6 of your 7 and expect to build any kind of philosophy in your side. You can drop one man here, bring in the next one man, but all 6 have gone. So do you mean to tell me that since that team that won in Bangladesh, in fact, let's not even use Bangladesh because that was 4 years ago. Let's go 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago, West Indies beat England in a 3-match test series 1-0 in the Caribbean. It's coming up to, just over 2.5 years ago. The whole batting lineup from that tour or from that series has gone, apart from Kraigg Braithwaite. Does that make sense? Bear in mind that West Indies barely win. Bear in mind they rarely win a test match series. How could we have afforded in 2.5 years to lose the whole batting lineup? So then I said, let me deep dive on this one. Let me just remind people, right? When you watch all these West Indies channels that try to imitate Caribbean cricket podcasts, they can never do it like us. They can never, ever do it like us. I said, let me dive deeper on this one. And I said, let me go through certain positions, highlight to people certain numbers, and then you lot can do the analysis, right? Or you lot can do you can make your own conclusions from this. Let's look at the openers position first. So Kraigg has been a mainstay. So Kraigg started in 2021 with John Campbell. John Campbell averaged in his test match career 26. That's poor, right? Get your pen. In fact, everyone get their pen and paper, because to understand this, you need to write the numbers down so that when you come into the comments and you want to make a dunce statements, make sure that you've actually looked at the numbers I'm talking about so that you come from a position of clear evidence supported with a clear argument, whether to debunk what I'm saying or maybe to support it, whatever. Get your pen and paper and start writing the opener's position. Kraigg Braithwaite started with John Campbell. John Campbell, by the time he had the drugs ban, was averaging 26. However, in the final year that John played in 2022, before the drugs ban, he had averaged 35. Now, you can say that's not the selector's fault. Obviously, he got banned. We can't pick John Campbell no more. I don't know how long John would have stayed in the side, but he's gone. From John, we went to Tagenarine Chanderpaul. Tagenarine Chanderpaul's numbers are heavily skewed by that double ton he scored in Zimbabwe. But by the time Tage got dropped, he was averaging 33. But he hadn't scored over 50 in 14 innings. So I'm willing to say, okay. In fairness, Tage possibly had to go because No 50s in 14 innings. I think there were 2 not outs or maybe 1 not out in that 14 inning stretch. So that's the metric. A line has been drawn in the sand. Cool. Machel Louis replaced Tajon Shandapur, and Machel Louis is currently averaging 22. He's had so far 16 test match innings and passed 50 twice. He's currently on a run of 1 score above 50 in 10 innings. I dived a bit deeper. He's got 3 scores over 35 in 16 innings. That's not me trying to dig Machel Louis out. I'm giving you the numbers. You can make your own conclusions from it. So the question I simply ask, having given you those numbers, is how did we get to this? Is that the selector's fault? I'm not saying it is. I'm just presenting the numbers. You lot can do the analysis. You can make your own conclusions. The question I'm asking at the end of it is, the question I'm asking at the end of all of this is this the selector's fault? So then I said, let me look at Bonner. Nkrumah Bonner famously came into the West Indies side. Everyone pulled out for Bangladesh away. Bonner came in after a good season in first-class cricket. By the time Bonner got dropped, he was averaging 38. He had gone 8 innings without a 50 when they dropped him. Within those 8 innings, 2 of them had been not out. 2 of them had been not outs. So Bonner went 8 innings without a 50, was averaging 38, got dropped. He was dropped for Raymond Reefer. I think there was politics at hand to get Raymond Reefer in, but that's a debate for another day. Reefer came in. Reefer scored 3 50s in 9 innings and then was dropped. Listen to me again. Bonner got dropped because he had no 50s in 8 innings, but 2 of those innings were not outs, dropped, averaging 38. Reefer came in, scored 3 50s in 9 innings, and got dropped. I'm not here to defend Bonner. I'm not here to defend Reefer. I'm just giving you the numbers. Suddenly, Kurt McKenzie was in. Kurt McKenzie played 12 innings for the West Indies. Bear in mind, Reefer only got 9. Reefer scored 3 50s in 9, dropped. Sorry. No, that's wrong. Sorry. Reefer in his Reefer in his 9 innings. No, that's right, actually. Reefer scored 3 50s in 9, dropped. Kurt came in, 150 in his 12 innings, down horrendous in England, average 17, dropped. Casey Carty is currently in. He replaced Kirk, sorry. He's also averaging 17, and he scored no 50s in 10 innings. How did we get here? Is that not the selector's fault? I'm not here to say it is. I'm just presenting the numbers. For those down the sides and up the back and out the door, Bonner got dropped after no 50s in 8 innings. 2 of them were not out. He was averaging 38. Reefer came in. Reefer scored 3 50s in 9 innings, got dropped. Kurt McKenzie came in, 150 in 12 innings, averaging 17, gone. We're now on Casey Carty, no 50s in 10 innings, averaging 17. How did we get here? Then I said, let me look at Kyle Mayers. Kyle Mayers, by the time he dropped, didn't want to play, whatever. I'm still putting this on the selectors because it's up to the selectors. It's up to who picks the team to find a way to engage players. Whether people want to believe Kyle Mayers didn't want to play Test cricket anymore or not, he had started. He had debuted in Bangladesh. He played up until South Africa away in 2023, has never been picked again. When Kyle Mayers got dropped or left or whatever the reason is, he had no 50s. Bear in mind, he's an all-rounder, though. He had no 50s in 9 innings. But he was averaging 33. 200s, 250s in 32 innings. As an all-rounder, he was averaging 33. We have never seen him again. Do you know what? Because This is probably gonna thing. Give me a second, people, because I'm bringing up an internet page, so this is probably gonna. Give me a sec. I know this is gonna come across. It's gonna like sync out because I'm on the internet at the same time. But bear with me. Bear with me. I'm gonna go silent for a sec. Okay, here we go. Right. Carl Mayer's bowling numbers, because remember he's an all-rounder. In his last series before he got dropped, Carl Mayers took 7 wickets at 14 apiece in South Africa. Right? Across his West Indies career, Carl Mayers took, in Test cricket, he took 34 wickets at 18 apiece. We have never seen him again. Then I said, let me look at Jermaine Blackwood. I said, okay, let's move to dads now. When Jermaine Blackwood got dropped at the end of the India series, Jermaine was averaging 30 in his Test match career. I just want to point out, no one in the current West Indies side is averaging above 30 except Kraigg. Jermaine was averaging 30 by the time he got dropped. He had scored in his last 10 innings 2 50s. Out of his last 10 innings, he had scored 2 50s, and one innings was a not out. In fact, his not out innings was his final innings in West Indies colours, was not out. In 2020, Jermaine Blackwood averaged 43 for the West Indies. In 2021, Jermaine Blackwood averaged 24 for the West Indies, down bad. He recovered in 2022. He averaged 32. Then in 2023, Jermaine averaged 27. Jermaine Blackwood is and has been in his West Indies career inconsistent. But Jermaine Blackwood's inconsistency is better than most of the people in the region he got dropped. In his last 10 Test match innings, Jermaine had 2 50s, and one of those innings was a not out, dropped. We've never seen him again. Now I just present this data. This is the current West Indies side in Pakistan. And before anyone says to me, oh, Mash, you're too negative, I'm asking everybody to improve. I want them to improve, but I have to present the raw numbers. Everyone, last 10 innings. Bear in mind, before I present them, let me just remind you again. Nkrumah Bonner, when he was dropped, had no 50s no 50s in his last 8 innings. The reason I'm not saying 10, so he had, like, he scored before that, no 50s in 8. His innings before that was 100. He got 100, right? So Nkrumah Bonner went no 50s in 8 innings, 2 not outs within that, dropped. Reefer went 3 50s in 9 innings, dropped. Mayers went to South Africa, took 7 wickets at 18, was averaging 33, but had no 50s in 9 innings, was tend to be batting 6 or 7, never seen him again. Blackwood had 2 50s in his last 10 innings with 1 not out, never seen him again. This is the current team. Kraigg Braithwaite, no 50s in 10 innings. Machel Louis, 150 in 10 innings. Casey Carty, no 50 in 10 innings. Kavem Hodge, 150 in 10 innings. Alec Athanase, 2 50s in his last 6, so 1 in 3 currently. Justin Graves, 150 in his last 10 innings. How did we get here? How did we get here? I am not saying that all of those players I've mentioned, from Bonner to Reefer to Mayers to Blackwood to Tage to John to whoever, I'm not saying all of them were untouchable. But what I am saying is, I believe, here's my opinion now, that the West Indies selectors, whoever they may be at each time, made unforced errors. We do not have a big enough talent pool to make unforced errors. So when people tell me now about, oh, West Indies, how comes they can't do this? They can't bat this, that, this, that, this, that. But we caused this ourselves. We caused this ourselves. Who told them to drop next man after only 8 innings with 2 not outs? Who told them to drop a man with 350s in 9? Who told them to drop it to never pick an all-rounder again who's got better all-rounded figures than Jason Holder? Who told them to drop dads? We do not have a big enough talent pool to make unforced errors. And that goes for anyone who has selected the side from 2021, when we won in Bangladesh, to now in Pakistan. It was only 2.5 years ago that England came to the Caribbean and we lit them down and won a series. This team is unrecognizable from them. You lot, get in the comments below as ever. Like, share, subscribe. There is no, I repeat, there is no channel on radio, on TV, on YouTube, on Insta, on OnlyFans, on X, and whatever. There is nothing out there that covers West Indies cricket like the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I'll be Machel St. Patrick here at one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. You done know the done know. Like, share, subscribe. If you want to contribute to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, head to www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket. Any little bit helps and counts to keep us on the road. 2025, we're coming big, we're coming strong, we're coming undefeatable. See you all soon.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.